doing the hard things hardens your mind.
Mm-hmm.
I think we both experienced this in martial arts. It's like, some of the toughest guys in the world are mentally tough because they've been through hard things.
Right.
If you look at soldiers who have spent time overseas and had to do combat and did these different things, they're mentally hardened. That the normal stuff in life that would trigger and freak other people out, car accidents or somebody trying to rob you or anything like that. And you see them, and a lot of times it's like, why is this dude so calm? It's like because his mind's been hardened.
Right.
Just like his body. You can't harden one without hardening the other. Just like you can't have one that's soft and the other one's not soft. Nobody has a hard mind and like a soft body.
Yeah.
You just don't see it.
Yeah.
It's like,
what I get from that is like you're talking about getting your heart rate up. I'm just talking about self-expression.
Not even necessarily getting your heart rate up, but doing something to where you're going to be more into your body. Even me just standing up walking is not going to get my heart rate up that high.
Right.
But it gets me. If I go from here and walk down the park, and I do it all the time, when I'm working, it's like I'll stop what I'm doing and just go for a walk. Not running, not jogging, because I don't super like to run for long distances. But I will go for a walk, just around the park, and it doesn't raise my heart rate at all. I mean, it's pretty much the same level it is right here when I'm talking to you right now. But me actually moving my body, one, it makes me think a different kind of way than it does when I'm just sitting here thinking about my problems, thinking about this. When I'm walking through, it puts me in a different state of mind because I'm seeing what's around me. I'm in a different environment. It puts me in a different mindset. And that's what I'm talking about. Is that getting into the physical things puts you in a different place in your mind because they're connected. Your mind's never going to be just blank.
Right.
It's not going to be. Even when you're meditating, your mind is not just blank.
Right.
It's like, but it shifts your mindset. It shifts where you are mentally when you're doing something physical. You don't have that same attention on certain things that you do. If you're working out in the gym and you're lifting weights, you're not thinking about, oh man, I really got to pay my car note today. I mean, you may be when you first start, but after a few reps, you're not going to be worried about that anymore. You're going to be thinking like, fuck, this is getting heavy.
Right.
Or if you're doing martial arts and you're sparring with somebody, you're not going to be like, man, I got in that fight with my girl tonight. I really hope she makes that pork chop when I get back home. It's like, you're not going to be doing that. If you're not paying attention to what's happening, it's like, you're gonna have problems. Right. But afterwards, you find that you think about something differently. It's like, okay, it's like I got in that argument with her. You almost find yourself being a lot more calm, and it quiets the mind.
Okay,
that's the thing. It's like you want to find things that quiet your mind, not shut it off, not distract like TV and different things like that, but quiets your mind in a different kind of way. And I think that's what that physical aspect gets into.
Okay, so then I'll change mine. Then mine is more the activation of the creation process.
Okay,
mine is more about because we talked about it. You paint. I know my dad paints. I like to write. These are things that it switches your mind and it can put you in a more creative, solution oriented mindset. So where it's not so much about the problems, but it's still a way of decompressing. It's still getting whatever's up here out on a piece of paper or making music, making beats, whatever your thing is that helps you express yourself in a creative way, and you can make something that's beautiful, or you can fucking destroy something. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, it's definitely whatever pertains to you and whatever your likes and dislikes are.
And let's just make a caveat. You don't want to do all of either one of these things.
No.
You don't want to be all mental, all cerebral, and to use my big college words, associate's degree.
How much you pay for that?
How much am I still paying for that?
Right. Same.
But we don't want to be all mental, all cerebral, all in our head.
Right.
But you also don't want to be all physical.
Right.
Because that's not great either. It's
right.
Like all you do, some of the best martial artists, Bruce Lee he read ferociously. I mean, he destroyed books. Book after he had an entire library, from what I hear, of like all these books, not just on martial arts, but on philosophy, on history, on mathematics, on all these different things, spiritual aspects. And that's the part of the warrior mindset that we really want to get across, is that you're not just supposed to be one of these things.
Right.
If you're good at is war, you're gonna have problems. But if all you're good at is philosophy, you're also gonna have problems.
True. Nobody is. Hey man, you're getting a bar fight, and it's like, hey, what would Nietzsche do, my guy? Like, let's calm down. No, you're gonna get punched in the face even harder because now you're a nerd.
But if you're that guy that's like, gets mad because you can't answer a math problem and you're in college class and you're flipping tables over, you're probably going to have problems too, because if that's the only way you know how to fix your problems, you're going to have issues.
Exactly.
It's like, so you don't want to be just one or the other. The key is to be both.
Right.
That's the key, is to integrate both into who you are.
Right.
That's the thing.
So since we are action oriented, when you're trying to find, people are going to ask, how do I find what it is that I like when it comes to, whether I need to work on my physical or whether I need to work on my mental.
Gotcha.
What is it that I need to do to find these things? How do I, what is the process through which I need to go through, where it's like, all right, I don't like going to the gym, I don't like drawing, I don't like this other stuff. What would you do?
Experimentation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that people experiment with their life enough. I've reinvented myself at least 100 times. Versus doing even to like what I do as far as painting, because what I first started doing in art is not what I do now.
Right.
It's like before, with the personal training is not how I train now. Is you have to be willing to experiment. Even my nutrition, I experiment with my nutrition. I experiment with the things I like, the places I go. Experimenting is the thing. My different types of workouts. I don't do the same workout all the time.
Right.
It switches, it changes, sometimes dramatically. So experimenting will be the first thing. Figure out what you like and what you don't.
Right.
If you start running next week and you figure out like, I fucking hate this, then don't run.
Right.
Maybe you need to go swim.
Right.
This is like, maybe you go swim, you figure you forget after you jump in the pool. Oh wait, I don't know how to swim. And then you drown. Lifeguard brings you back up, brings you back life. You're like, oh hey man, swimming might not be for you. Okay, go find something else. Maybe it's go riding a bike. Maybe you just go ride your bike. You figure out that you're like, man, this is it. Yeah, I love riding the bike. It's nice. I'm not drowning. It's great.
And depending on where you live,
yeah,
different things are available to you. Go to the rec center, play ball.
Do things that you wouldn't normally do.
Right.
Do things that you wouldn't normally do. If you feel like you're not athletic at all, and you have no athletic ability whatsoever, maybe go find a trainer. Maybe go join a sports team. It doesn't necessarily be basketball or football or anything like that. Go play pickleball.
Right.
Go play handball. Go play racquetball. Go do something. Go play water polo. I don't care. Experiment with your life to figure out what suits you and what suits your sensibility. Because what works for me isn't going to be the same thing that works for you. What works for you isn't going to be the same thing that works for me.
Right.
It's like there's all these different avenues, and a lot of people just get stuck on this one thing. Like, well, I got to go to the gym, or I have to do these things. Like, no, martial arts just happen to be our avenue. Martial arts happen to be the avenue that we both took, and we took for different reasons. You mentioned that you were very, more in the cerebral, and it got you more into the physical. Mine was the physical. It's like, and when I got into that physical, it started to change my mind. The anger I had inside us, because I was bullied. The reason I got into martial arts, I'll be upfront, it was because I got bullied.
Right.
And it made me so angry emotionally. It's like, hey, you're not just gonna, my mom was like, you're not gonna just get your ass whooped. You need to put your martial arts. Right. And getting into that, I figured out it toughened my mind. Because before it was almost, I wouldn't even say it was a victim mentality, but I felt weak. I felt weak and I felt defenseless. I didn't feel like I couldn't defend myself. And the more I did martial arts, the tougher I figured out was. Getting thrown across the room, getting slammed, getting kicked in the stomach, getting the air knocked out of you. We'll help you figure out how tough you actually are.
Right.
And doing that and having to come back the next day and do the same thing, it makes you mentally tough. And the more I did it, the more mentally tough I got. And then it started expanding into the more of the spiritual side. I always had a bit of that, but it started expanding into more of like, oh, I have power. I have power now. I can choose when I fight. I don't have to just, even though I've gained and I fought my bully and I won. But even after that, I was like, I didn't become the new bully.
Right.
I was like, I'm here to use this to protect people, protect myself and protect people. And I can do that now. I have the power to do that. What else can I do?
Right.
And it started expanding that. It's like, so I don't need to fight. Even though I'm learning these things that I can use to destroy people, I don't have to fight. And I built that mental toughness where people would say certain things, I'm like, okay.
Right. You don't have to react to everything.
It's like mentally, it doesn't make it past the forehead.
Right.
I'm like, all right.
Right.
It's like you saying something, he's like, all right.
I would say the key word that you said in there was power. This is a self-empowerment process.
Yes.
When it comes to, man, it really just hit me hard too. That's how you find harmony within yourself, is that you empower yourself to do these things. Climbing a rock wall can be just as empowering as getting into, a boxing match.
Reading a book.
Reading a book can be just as empowering. If you've never
read a book all the way from cover to cover, you read that first book from cover to cover, you become empowered.
Right.
There are guys who, and we hear this all the time, guys who have gone to jail and never read a book fully from cover to cover until they go to jail.
Right.
And how many guys come out of jail and are these street philosophers now? Have knowledge.
Yeah.
They might use the word wrong.
Right. Right.
But you got to appreciate that this guy found empowerment through reading these books. He might have been out here in the streets and used violence and all these physical aspects of it, but here he wasn't there.
Right.
He went to jail where he couldn't do this anymore.
Right.
Or at least it's frowned upon.
Well, you can, but it's going to get you in more danger. You can't go nowhere.
And to the point where they start cracking open those books and reading books. And that first book that they read cover to cover, even if it's Dr. Seuss, Green Eggs and Ham, they feel empowered after they do that. They find their power. They're like, I can do this. I can read. I am smart. I can do this. People have been telling me I'm stupid my whole life. That's why I use this all the time.
Right.
Just the opposite ways. Like people telling me I was weak all the time. That's why we use this. It's like finding your power is key as a man.
Absolutely.
And in order to do that, that's why, the actual step is experiment.
Right.
Experiment. Figure out where your power lies.